welcome to my quite unusual perfume review channel. I draw or paint what I smell and what a certain fragrance reminds me of. I've spent the last week wearing one particular perfume from Etat Libre discovery set, Remarkable People. The official booklet states that this olfactory creation is dedicated to un-people, uncompromising, unexpected, unconventional, unpredictable. We're off to a very vivid and promising start, but what does it really smell like? Remarkable People was released in 2015. It's light but sophisticated, a laid-back, carefree scent which would be perfect for spring and summer. So why in the world have I decided to review it now, in the dead of the winter, especially that it's not exactly new nor their bestseller? And the answer is champagne. It's one of the top notes in this perfume. An immortal New Year's Eve classic, a glass of fizzy liquid associated with exceptional occasions and posh gatherings. I see what they did here with the name. Remarkable People. Always down for a classy celebration with a sparkling drink in their hands. The main notes in Remarkable People are grapefruit, champagne, and cardamom. These three are the top notes. Then there's curry tree, which I had to Google and have no idea how it smells like, black pepper, and jasmine. These are the hot notes. The base notes are sandalwood, lauranox, that's a fragrant molecule that smells woody, ambery, and even leathery according to Google, and labdanum. The notes seem quite unusual, and the combination of all of them smells fresh, but creamy at the same time. It's light, unisex, maybe a bit more masculine to my nose, but more about that later. Remarkable People smells familiar, as if you've smelled it before, but not quite. Oddly generic would best describe it. And if you were expecting champagne bubbles, they're not here. It's very office-friendly, non-intrusive, quite unique, and quite forgettable at the same time. In other words, quite generic, but with a tiny special element to it. The very first impression was freshness, slightly spicy, citrusy bitterness, followed by an unusual sour impression. That must be champagne, but only in a few minutes that freshness turns creamy. Such an unexpected combination. Don't get me wrong, it all goes well together, but it's just a bit unusual, even for me. What could best describe the first spray is a recipe for an imaginary cocktail. Pour some champagne into an empty grapefruit shell, add a tiny spoon of sour cream. When the initial soft, sour bitterness evaporates, Remarkable People turn into a croissant. I'm gonna be very specific here, but maybe my comparison will ring a bell. I used to consume these pre-packed croissants on lunch break at school in large quantities. They were called 7 days, and my favorite one was with a creamy champagne filling. There's nothing wrong with selling champagne-flavored croissants to minors in schools, right? That creamy champagne filling smells very much like Remarkable People. But there's one thing that's been bothering me since my very first sniff. I'll slowly walk you through my experience and just hope that YouTube won't block my channel. So you know how people associate New Year with babies? A baby New Year and father time. They always go hand in hand, two opposites. Yet they have something in common. Urinary incontinence. I promise it's a lot more innocent than I made it sound. It's like a tiny kid had an insignificant leaky accident while wearing a fresh pair of underwear. So Remarkable People, as interpreted by my nose, does have a hint of pee. I can't imagine which notes are causing this reaction. Maybe it's a combination of curry tree and champagne? I tried to play around with this thought because it just wouldn't let me be. How can I put it nicely and make it acceptable? How can I gently say that a perfume smells a bit like pee, but it's still really fresh and enjoyable? Why not an innocent cherub fountain? And someone put a glass of champagne into a statue's hand? Yeah, why not? Why not? The other option I considered was a bit less innocent. Imagine it's the New Year's Eve and someone just lost their mind and went completely off the hook. They had a bit too much champagne to drink and just went on a naked midnight quest. It's like Remarkable People is a secret part 2 to Secrétions Magnifiques, only it's the party edition. Now I had to choose which sketch is more suitable for the final drawing, the angelic fountain or the wild naked party. Let it be the fountain, just because it's more associated with something light and summery. Remarkable People is a unisex fragrance. However, I was surprised to find out that voters on Fragrantica called it a slightly more feminine scent. To my nose it feels a bit more masculine. But just as always, it doesn't matter, right? We're all absolutely different and can wear whatever we want. It's a nice and quite exceptional creation by Etat Libre. I can imagine reaching for it when you're feeling quite neutral, looking for something inoffensive and on the lighter side. I wouldn't say that it's very recognizable or unique, but one doesn't always have to be. It perfectly fits that neutral perfume gap. I would even say that it's quite a safe blind buy, but really bear in mind that unisex factor. It may feel too spicy and sharp and men's shower gel-like on one hand, and too creamy and soft on the other. I've painted a fountain with a tiny angel placed on top, only someone dressed him up with a pair of underwear. A subliminal pee-related message is there, but not very obvious. It's just a remarkable piece of sculptor's craftsmanship hidden somewhere in the big city. The background reflects that sour and bitter creaminess, and the water symbolizes freshness and pee. Thank you so much for watching my nonsensical perfume reviews. See you on the other one the next week. Bye!